The following segment is sponsored by Daniel A. White and Associates.
The Rick Jensen Show on 101.7 FM, 1150 AM, WDEL, and streaming to your smart speaker and mobile device.
Well, I've been a happy camper, client of Dan White and Associates for many, many years, as have thousands of others. Every Wednesday after the news at 1:30, Dan or one of the great associates over there, could be Andrew Wood or Dan Simon, calls in with a great tip for you because they are financial planners specializing in retirement income. Dan, how you doing there, sir?
I'm doing well, Rick. How about yourself?
Good. I was just thinking about what I said, and I think that neither one of us will ever retire, none of our own accord. Because we're kind of goofy that way, like doing what you like to do, and we talk.
You know what they say: if you love what you do, you never work another day in your life.
That's kind of true. Although there's always those days, but then you think, well, yeah, but this too shall pass, right?
Yeah, there's I mean the same thing I go through. I mean, some days you're like, why am I doing this? And other days you're like, I love going to work. So.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Why am I doing this? And then and then you get into it, and you realize, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing this. Yeah, because you love it so much.
Some days you're the windshield, and some days you're the bug.
That would make for a great song. Maybe you should write a song about that. That'd be awesome. So what are you calling in with today, Dan?
Well, we're starting to get calls in our office. It's getting toward the end of the year, and we're getting calls about Qualified Charitable Distributions, what is known as QCDs. And I wanted to just discuss 5 things people need to know about them. So if you're thinking about doing a Qualified Charitable Distribution for 2025, time's getting short. The deadline is December 31st of this year. And many people miss out on this tax break. But here's the 5 things you need to know. If you do a QCD, it has to be done as a direct transfer from the IRA to the charity. If the distribution is paid to you, you cannot then give those funds to the charity and call it a QCD.
Really?
But a check that's made payable to the charity that's mailed to you and delivered by you to the charity will work. The check just can't be made payable to you. And the IRS has got a new code. It's called Code Y on the 1099-R, and that tells the custodians that indicates a QCD.
Dan?
The second thing that's kind of big is the amount that's transferred from the IRA to the charity as the QCD counts toward your required minimum distribution. So using a QCD to satisfy your RMD, you don't get any deduction on it, but the RMD that you would have had to claim as income, you no longer have to claim because it went directly to a charity. The third thing is the per year limit is $108,000 a year. It's a pretty big number. So if you're married and you and your spouse both qualify, you could each do qualified charitable distributions totaling $108,000 a year. A tax deduction cannot also be taken, but you can still do a QCD of 108 even if your RMD is less than that. And then the fourth thing, which is kind of a quirk in the tax code, you can do a QCD if you're an IRA owner or beneficiary and you're 70 and a half years old or older. So now we're back to this 70 and a half number. Right? While the Secure Act and the Secure Act 2.0 raised the age that RMDs have to be taken to age 73, the age for QCDs remains at 70 and a half. So you can do a QCD from your IRA, your Roth IRA, or an inactive SEP or simple IRA. You cannot do a QCD from any type of employer plan. And then the last thing is you can't receive anything in return for the donation. You can't get free tickets or tote bags or coffee mugs. It's got to be a gift. It's got to be a gift to a charity. You receive nothing for it. But it is a way, for people that, where we see it, Rick, is, people tithe and people give to their church. And with the standard deduction being for a married couple $30,000, a lot of people aren't getting any tax benefit of giving money to the church. So one thing they can do if they're receiving RMDs, and let's say they're giving the church, $15,000, if the RMD is $15,000, they can have that RMD just sent directly to the church. The church is getting their money. You're not getting taxed on the $15,000 that would have come out of the IRA.
And by the way, the administrators, I suppose, at the companies holding your IRA, whatever, do they file those documents for you with the IRA? They give you a copy of it?
They do. They'll file the 1099. Yep.
With the IRS?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they do all that for you.
I know a lot of people who have charitable hearts, and
yes,
and they like to do something like that. They take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe the dog or the cat, I'm
telling you, where we see the bulk of it is the churches, because, like I said, with the standard deduction being as high as it is right now, people give money to the church, and then they're like, well, we can't itemize, so we don't get any benefit of giving money. Not that you should look for a tax benefit giving money to your church, but a lot of people do. A lot of people look for that, right?
And by the way, and for those of us who are pretty much middle class folks, the standard deduction is so much money now. I mean, how much is it, like 30 something? For a couple?
I can give you the exact number here. I mean, for a couple, it's over $30,000.
Yeah.
So most people, if you don't have a mortgage, you don't have any mortgage interest or anything, you'd be hard pressed to come up with that. Yeah, the standard deduction is $31,500 for a married couple.
Yeah.
$15,750 for a single person.
So my wife and I, we no longer take receipts at Goodwill. It's like, really, there's no way we're giving $30,000 worth of clothes at Goodwill. And then we make other checks. We'll give $100 here and $100 there, things like that. Yeah. And we do that sort of thing.
Normal.
But there's no way that we got like $31,000 worth of deductions like that.
I mean, let's just say a normal person, maybe they give the church $100 a week or $200 a week.
Yeah,
that's $5,000 or $10,000. You're not going to be able to itemize that.
No,
and you want to give money to your church, so you say to yourself, hey, if I'm 70 and a half, even though I'm not subject to an RMD yet, I could pull $10,000 out of my IRA and have it sent directly to the church, and then that way, that's reducing my RMDs when I get older. Anyway,
Hey, hon, we gave $32,000 in charity. Oh, good, we can itemize and deduct $500.
Right, exactly,
Yes.
Exactly.
I guess you know what? I like the standard deduction. I think that's great because they have these donation boxes all around. And they're for clothes and shoes and things, and they're all over the place. And of course, I'm talking about something much smaller than your charitable giving. But because of that, they don't give receipts, but you don't have to have one anymore with this $31,500 standard deduction. Now, for somebody like you're talking about, you want to give money to your church, and you have $100,000 after you've taken care of the family and everything else. Maybe you got a trust and a will and a whole bit, and then it's a beautiful thing. But like you said, it's kind of like a 401k rollover. Don't ever touch the money, right?
Yeah, I mean it's funny because if you don't do it the right way, then it doesn't qualify. And people have the concept down, but again, you got to follow the rules.
Right, gotcha. Dan, appreciate that. Dan White hosting On the Money Sunday morning on 101.7 FM, 11:50 a.m. and WDEL.com on whatever you like to stream, whatever device you like to use. What's on tap for this Sunday at 7 a.m.?
This Sunday is talking about as 2025 comes to a close, what you can do before year end to max out your retirement savings.
Okay, 7 a.m. Bagel, coffee, On the Money, Dan White. All right, buddy.
You got it.
Let's see now. So, and here's the other thing. Does anybody really care about the World Series?
Other than I think most people are hoping the Dodgers lose, but
I know, right?
Anybody who's won it the year before, you try to say, "Hey, let somebody else win it." So
Dodgers, Blue Jays. Let's see who the Flyers are playing. All righty, that's coming up. All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Dan.
Have a good day, Rick.
You too. Bye-bye.